Good morning dear students. In your previous video class, you learnt about the law of chemical combinations such as the law of conservation of mass and the law of constant proportions. And some symbols are used to represent the elements. In this class, children, we will discuss about atomic mass. Yes, the most remarkable concept that is given by the Dalton's theory. Dalton's atomic theory. According to him, every element has its own characteristic atomic mass, and that theory very well explained about the law of constant proportions. And experimentally he observed that 3 gram of carbon combined with 4 gram of oxygen. And based on this, he explained the relative element is very needed to measure the atomic masses of other elements. The measuring of element atomic mass, the measuring of the atomic mass of an element, it is a relatively very difficult task. When we are going to calculate the atomic masses of the element, we need the reference. We need reference or a standard unit to represent the element. And basically, he taken oxygen as a reference. Oxygen mass is taken as a standard unit to represent the atomic mass of the elements. And that is defined as like this: 1/16th of the mass of the oxygen. It is used as a unit to represent the atomic mass of an element. Why we take the oxygen to represent the atomic mass unit? This is because oxygen is reacted with other so many elements to form a compound. That is one of the main reasons we take oxygen. 1/16th is a unit to represent the atomic mass. And the second reason is atomic mass unit give masses of most of the elements or whole numbers. That not gives the fraction. This is because of these two reasons we take the oxygen 1/16th as a standard unit to represent the atomic mass. But after so many researchers in the year of 1961, the carbon 1 isotope is used as a standard unit to represent the atomic mass of an element. And that atomic mass unit is defined as like this: one atomic mass unit is a mass unit equal to exactly 1/12 of the mass of one atom of the carbon 12 isotope. One atomic mass unit nowadays it is also represent like U. U is referred as unified mass. Nowadays, mass of carbon 12 isotope is used as a standard atomic mass unit. Now let us understand atomic mass unit carbon 12 isotope. Okay children? All of you take this now. Yes children, now let us go to understanding mass of a single atom. How this is calculated? Is there any weighing balance to measure the mass of a single atom? No. Now let us going to understand how it is calculated. Take two objects such as A and B. As the A as 12 kg, B is a thing we don't know the mass of the object B. Now let us calculate the mass of the object B. Yes, both are put in a weighing machine, and we know that A is a bigger object. Clearly it shows like this. Now let us cut out A as a 6 pieces. Take one piece among that and put in a weighing machine. Still now it is weightier than B, and clearly it's shown by the weighing machine. Now Again cut out the whole A as a 12 pieces, and each piece as measuring 1 kg, and that piece is taken and put in a weighing machine that gives a equilibrium. Now let us going to understand the mass of object B. As clearly it shown, object B is also a 1 kg. How do you calculate this? Yes, mass of the object B is 1/12 of the object A. Yes, children, like this. Similarly, the atomic mass of an element is calculated by using this concept. Now, basically, taken carbon 12 as a unit to represent the atomic mass. How it is taken is carbon has so many isotopes. Yes, it is having 4 isotopes. Among that, carbon 12 is taken as a standard unit to represent the atomic mass. Yes, isotope means different forms of the same element. Yes, the carbon 12 is taken as a standard unit to represent the atomic mass. And how it is taken is carbon present in all the things, due to that reason that is taken as a standard unit. Atomic mass of an atom is defined as like this with respect to one atomic mass. Atomic mass unit. Yes, the carbon mass unit is equal to 1/12 of the mass of carbon 12 atom. Yes, the carbon 12 is also cut out into 12 pieces. Yes, take one piece that gives the standard unit to represent the one atomic mass unit. Yes, it gives so many masses of an element. Now let's see atomic masses of few elements like this. Elements of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen and oxygen respectively. Yes, children. Now let us go to understand how do atoms exist. Atoms of most elements are not able to exist independently. Atoms form molecules and ions. These molecules or ions aggregate in large numbers to form the matter that we can see, feel or touch. Okay, children? Yes, all of you answer yourself for these two questions that is given in your textbook. The first question is, define the atomic mass unit. Children, I told you already is what do you mean by AMU, atomic mass unit. All of you answer to this question. And the second question is, why is it not possible to see an atom with naked eye? Children, we know that the atoms are very negligible in size and atoms are very smaller size and it is not further divided. For that reason, we cannot see with our naked eye. Right answer yourself for these two questions. Okay, now let's see what is a molecule. Yes, children, in general, molecule is formed by the combination of two or more atoms of the same element or different elements. And now the molecule is defined as like this: the smallest particle. Molecule is also a smallest particle of an element or a compound that is capable of independent existence and show all the properties of that substance. As now let us take a molecule of nitrogen. As that molecule of nitrogen, it shows the properties of the nitrogen. It shows all the properties of nitrogen with respect to that, and the molecule is also a smallest particle that is formed by the element or compound. And atoms of the elements, the molecule is formed by atoms of the same elements or different elements. For example, molecule of carbon dioxide. Yes, in that carbon dioxide, and that molecule is formed by the two elements, two different elements, carbon and oxygen, like that. And the molecule of oxygen, see in that is the molecule is formed by the oxygen element, a single element. Like that, molecule is formed by the same together, as molecule is not a single and molecule is a formed by the two or more elements combined together. And now let us discuss about molecules of elements. And the molecules of elements, as the molecule is formed by the elements, sometimes a single element it forms a molecule. For example, argon and helium. Argon molecule it contains only single atom of an element, and helium also it contains a single atom of that element. Such set of molecules are called monoatomic molecule, and this is not same for all the elements and it is different for different molecules. For example, our oxygen. Oxygen is a diatomic molecule. Oxygen molecule contains two atoms of oxygen. Two atoms of oxygen. And here 2 is represented as an atomicity of that element. Atomicity of that element. And now define atomicity like this. The number of atoms constituting a molecule is known as atomicity of that element. And now let us see some examples like this. Oxygen, atomicity of the oxygen is 2. Hydrogen, atomicity of the hydrogen is 2. Now, atomicity of argon is 1. The chlorine atomicity is 2. Like this, a molecule is formed by the element. The molecule is formed by only one element is known as mono-element molecule, monoatomic molecule. The molecule is formed by the two elements of the atom, two atoms of that element, that is known as diatomic molecule. And sometimes it is formed by the so many atoms of the element, such are called polyatomic molecules. Polyatomic molecules. Now let us see some molecules of elements given in your textbook. Okay children, and all of you take this definition and some examples of atomicity in your notes. See children, now this is a table. It shows atomicity of some elements. See now, some non-metals are given here, name and atomicity given here. Argon is a monoatomic molecule. Helium is also a monoatomic, and oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, chlorine, those are diatomic molecules. And see now, phosphorus. Phosphorus is a tetraatomic molecule. That means 4 atoms of the phosphorus, it makes the phosphorus molecule. And now see sulfur. See now children, sulfur is a polyatomic molecule. Polyatomic means the sulfur molecule is made by the more than 4 atoms of the sulfur. For that reason, it is named as polyatomic molecule. Polyatomic molecule. Children, now let us going to understand about molecules of compounds. Atoms of different elements join together in a definite proportions to form molecules of compounds. For example, see water. Yes, water is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen, and both are combined in a proper proportion 1:8. Like this, ammonia. Ammonia is a compound and it is combination of nitrogen and hydrogen with the definite proportion 14:3. Like that, so many compounds are formed by like this. The 2 or more elements combined with proper proportion to form a molecules of compound. And sometimes the compound may be formed by the charged particles. The charged ions are combined together to form a compound, and the charged species are called ions. Now let us understand about what is an ion. The charged species are known as ions. The metals and non-metals combine to form a compound. For example, sodium chloride. Sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. Both are combined by the action, the force of attraction together in between positive to negative. The positive ion are sodium, the negative ion is a chlorine. Both are attract together and to form a compound. Such are called ionic compounds. Such the sodium chloride is called ionic compounds in such a way that the compounds are also formed. And here the anion, the negatively charged species are known as anions. The positively charged species are called cations. See now some examples for ionic compounds. Calcium oxide. Calcium is a metal and oxygen is a non-metal. Both are combined together. It gives a calcium oxide, and both are combined with the proper proportion 5:2. And sodium chloride. Yes, I told you already. Sodium chloride is an ionic compound, and both are combined in a proper proportion to give a ionic compound. And now let's see some ions and the compounds formed by such ions in your textbook. And all of you take this definition in your notes. Yes, children, look at all of you this table. Yes, this table shows names and symbols of some ions, and valencies are given here. Yes, valency of these ions are 1. Name of the ion, look at carefully. Sodium. Sodium is a positively charged ion, Na plus. The cation is represented like this, Na plus. Plus only here there is no number, is this gives its valency is 1. Potassium, see now, K plus, here there is no number, that understand that as 1. And silver is also 1. Copper is also 1. These are having the valency 1, and these are cations. Now look at here 2. 2, it shows the valency, and now observe this 2 here. Magnesium, Mg2 plus. See children, here this is a cation with respect to the valency 2. Calcium, zinc, iron and cuprous. As see here, cuprous 2. These are all the having the valency 2. See now 3. Aluminium and iron use having the valency 3. Now come to the second column, non-metallic elements. As the first column elements are metals, the second column shows non-metals and their symbols. Hydrogen plus the calcium, bromine iodide. These are all having the valency 1, and this valency is considered to all the columns, and these are all the having the valency 1. Now oxide and sulfide. Look at children here, O2 minus. See now, all the non-metals are anions, the metals are cations. And observe here, oxide and sulfide are having the valency 2. Yes, now come to here children, nitride. Yes, the nitrogen is a non-metal, is having the valency 3. We have to pronounce this as a nitride. Yes, now come to the last column. This is a polyatomic ions. Ammonium, hydroxide, nitrate, oxygen and carbonate, sulfide, sulfate, phosphate. Look at children here. Here the compound is formed by the combination of two or more elements. Here two elements are combined, nitrogen and hydrogen, and that gives the polyatomic compound ion, that is ammonia. And like this here children, yes, this is very helpful to your next coming class. Yes children, now come to writing a chemical formula of some compounds. Yes, before going to writing a chemical formula of the compounds, first we shall know about what do you mean by valency. Children, all of you heard this word valency in your previous the table having the names and symbols of some ions. Yes, valency. Yes children, sodium is the element and it is represented by the ion like this, Na plus. Yes, sodium is a cation and it is represented by like this, and the valency of this ion is 1. Valency of this ion is 1. What it refers 1? Yes, this 1 is indicates the valency. Valency means the combining power of an element is known as valency. The combining power or capacity. Combining power or capacity of an element is known as valency. And according to the valency of the ions, and it is going to combine to form a compound. Listen children, valency is a combining power or capacity of an element is known as valency, and valency is different for different ions. For example, observe magnesium. Magnesium is represented by like this, Mg2+. Yes, observe here, 2 is the number. 2 is the number and 2 is the valency of this magnesium. 2 is the valency of this magnesium. And this 2 is indicates it is a combining power of that magnesium. And now let us go to writing the chemical formulae based on their valencies. Okay children? See children now, formula of hydrogen chloride. And here the elements are hydrogen and chlorine. The symbols are hydrogen is H, the chlorine is Cl. And valencies are hydrogen valency is 1, chlorine valency is 1. All of you see the table I shown in your previously and cross multiplied here, and do here cross multiplication, and the formula gives HCl. The formula of the compound is HCl. The H valency is also 1, the chlorine valency is also 1. Yes. Children, some rules are there to write the formula of the compound. Now let's see what are the rules we have to follow while writing the formula of the compound. Yes, see children, the rules that you have to follow while writing a chemical formula are as follows. The first rule is the valencies or charges on the ions must be balanced. The charges of the ions must be balanced is the first rule. The second rule is when a compound consists of a metal and a non-metal, then the name or a symbol of the metal is written first. For example, calcium oxide. Look at children here. Calcium is metal. We write first. Oxygen is a non-metal. Write the next. For example, sodium chloride. See, sodium chloride. Sodium is a metal. Chlorine is non-metal. Iron sulfide. Iron is a metal. Sulfur is a non-metal. Like this. Where oxygen, chlorine, sulfur are non-metals and are written on right, whereas calcium, sodium, iron and copper are metals are written on the left. And the third rule is like this. In compounds formed with the polyatomic ions, the ion is enclosed in a bracket before writing the number to indicate the ratio. In case the number of polyatomic ions is 1, the bracket is not required. For example, sodium chloride. See children here, for the polyatomic ions, sodium is a single element, but oxygen and hydrogen combine to form a compound of the molecule, and here the combining power is 1 that is not need as a bracket. In such a compounds, writing the bracket is not necessary, but where we have to put the bracket, in which situation we have to use the bracket. Now let's see to write the chemical symbol of some compounds. Okay children? Yes. Okay children, up to now we are discussing about atomic mass, molecule, molecules of an element, molecules of compounds, and how to write a chemical formulae, and rules regarding while writing chemical formula of the compound. I hope that children, all of you understood very well. We will discuss the remaining concept of this chapter in your next class. Thank you.